Welcome back to Inuyasha Anime Review Part 9. This one I'm viewing the last 8 episodes of Season 3. First 3 episodes is the Panther Devas arc. I thought it was just 5 episodes? No, it's only 3. Yep, the Panther Devas. They are a cat demon tribe who are old enemies of the Great Dog Demon General, aka Inuyasha and Shishimaru's father. And yeah, there's some very bad writing in this particular arc. Like, they say, they first show 50 years prior to the events of the series. Nope! They actually show up years prior to that. Like, several hundred years prior to that. When not explicitly explained, it's like apparent. Now, it is true that Inuyasha's father did fight these creatures, but it's like, and then we see a flashback like, oh, Shishimaru was like not at the battle, and then there was another flashback. Yep, he was at a battle at least, but not that battle. You're like, what the heck? It's like they're very inconsistent about the Panther Devas. Oh yeah, and the leader of the group, not the Panther King, the one who basically is like near the top. She apparently somehow knows Shishimaru. It's implied. I think her name is Tofin. I think her name is. Yes, she's a beautiful woman, and it's implied these two may have been lovers at some point. I mean, it's very heavily implied that throughout this entire 3-parter, but yet nothing is done with it at all. It's like this arc was written by 3 different writers who had no idea what the heck they were doing. It's like, okay, we gotta do this filler arc, and the arc itself is kind of weird. Like you see Shishimaru actually relaxing for a change, because a lot of the time when you see him, with the exception of the episode in Choose Ren, a lot of the time when you see Shishimaru, he's always standing. Like, usually he's wandering around, doing something. Here he's just relaxing while Ren and Jackie are basically going fishing. Now, when I first heard about the fishing thing, I'm like, wait, did they actually have a fishing pole? No, they actually do it the old-fashioned way, with your bare freaking hands. No, I have never tried this at all. Mainly because I never actually bothered to do this at all. No one's ever taught me to do it. I didn't know what I do anyways. If I wanted to go fishing, I'd rather use an actual fishing pole with bait. Yep, and then of course that's when the Panther Devas show up and tell them that, yeah, we're going to resurrect our old master. Yeah, this gigantic cat demon referred to as the Panther King. Yeah, and they kind of keep this thing in silhouette for quite some time. Also, they kind of are inconsistent what the heck this thing is supposed to look like. Because, like, all 3 episodes, he always, like, his head always changes. Like, okay, it's like this ghoulish thing, and it's kind of like that in the very next episode, but then they change something else, and then we finally determine Panther is his actual restored form. He just looks like a giant freaking cat! I'm like, why the heck is this guy so inconsistent? Also, they said that apparently Inuyasha could not participate at all because apparently 50 years ago, like, he was put under a spell. I'm like, no, he wasn't at all. It's like, oh, some Shine Priest is put under a spell. Like, okay, that is bullcrap. That is the most bullcrap writing I've ever seen, because that is heavily inconsistent with the plot of the damn series. Yes. No wonder why this arc, I've never heard anybody ever discuss this particular 3-parter. I mean, people talk about good the series, but my gosh, this arc is kind of bad. I mean, the ending I thought was really good. It's just, like, the action is the best part of this thing. And, of course, the animation and voice acting. But the writing is very inconsistent throughout this entire 3-parter. Like was pointed out, heck, I do agree with this. Like, okay, apparently, Shishimaru had the Tenseiga, like, during the war, even though it was given to him after his father died, which that makes no sense at all. Yeah, they're inconsistent about that. The fact that, oh yeah, Koga is in this 3-parter. Yeah, he is written to be fine, at least he's consistent. Well, he sees the red Tenseiga for the first time, Tenseiga, and of course, Shishimaru sees it for the first time, which, when you see it in the following 2-part that comes after these filler episodes that come after this, because basically you have this 3-parter, you have 2 standalone episodes, which second one leads into the 2-parter toward the end of the season. And, of course, he has no reaction to it. Here you see his reaction is like, oh, the Tenseiga's red. and can break barriers. Yeah, that was established just prior to this particular three-part, like immediately just prior to this. So basically, it's kind of like a testing point, and we have to gather these people for sacrifices for the Panther King. Okay. Also, despite the fact they're attacking these demons, none of them get killed. I'm like, seriously. Oh yeah, and also here's something I don't like about this three-parter. Apparently, and here's the thing: Kagome apparently does not have her bow and arrow for some reason. I'm like, Kagome, you do know you have bow and arrows, and yet never once does she ever bring them out. Did the writers forget she had those? Also, Shishimaru, like not Shishimaru, the Moroku, he has the wind tunnel. He doesn't use it to part 3. Apparently, that was another thing that apparently the writers apparently forgot. Oh, he's got this. Okay, what about... Oh, yeah, and here's the thing. Most of the cast who appear in this three-parter, with the exception of Inuyasha, Shishimaru, and Koga, with the exception of these 3, everybody else does pretty much nothing. Yeah, they get almost nothing to do. I'm like, what the heck is this? Why are you giving most of the cast of the series nothing to do? I mean, there's no mention to Naraku. Yeah, he's not even mentioned this one. Heck, sometimes even Philip do reference Naraku. Here, there's no mention of him. No appearance made of his henchmen. Nothing. And then we finally get a chance to battle with the Panther King. And here's the thing. He's kind of defeated by Shishimaru. Yeah. Because the Panther King turns on his own people because he really wants me to be restored so badly. So he absorbs 4 people. Their life force. And restored normal. And yeah, also we also have Runkin, the guardian of the demon of hell, who is a wolf demon. I'm like, Koga's a wolf demon too. Yeah, this is quite strange about this particular character. This is the first time he's appeared since season 1, and here's kind of the thing. Even though this episode is not canon, apparently his last appearance in the anime was also the last time he appeared in the manga. He never died, he just stopped appearing. Also, doesn't Ryoken have the ability to spit out wolves of his mouth? Apparently the writers forgot about that too. Yeah, they bring the character back. Apparently they give him a different voice. Yeah, it's like they changed his voice for some reason for the English dub. I'm not really sure why. Yeah, we have these other demons apparently who fought with Shishimaru's father. Like, how old is the Guardian of the Forest? Like, apparently he's a wolf turned to a demon, not an actual wolf demon. Yeah, this is making no sense at all. Oh, and Runkin does not really appear at this three-parter. He disappears. He's never seen again after this. Koga. Now, what about Shishimaru? Shishimaru gets a good amount to do. And him chastising Inuyasha because of his infatuation with Kikyo, that makes no sense at all, because that is very inconsistent with how Shishimaru was written in the canon stuff. Yes. And eventually, like, after he's depowered, like, once he gets restored back to his state he was before he was, like, resurrected, before he was, like, fully restored, Inuyasha just kills them easily and takes the shards, and that's it. Yeah, the shards are taken from them by the cat demons who apparently wanted to take Kagome for some reason. Like, oh, they're apparently after a shrine priestess who's in strange clothing. Okay. Do they mean Kikyo or Kagome? Yeah, that was one thing I thought was really strange. Like, okay, I'm scratching my head through this entire thing part. Like, okay, who are they talking about? I'm talking about Kagome? She's a trained priestess, but she's not an actual... She's not a position of priestess. Yeah. For some reason, they want Kide. They wanted Kagome because she could take Shard's Shugon Jewel. Yeah. The reason why they took her makes absolutely no sense at all. And then they just... Oh, yeah. Let's just sacrifice her for resurrecting the Master. Only here's the thing. It's kind of mentioned, oh, yeah, he's alive. Somehow. And, oh yeah, he's not alive. We have to resurrect him thanks to the Shard's Shugon Jewel for some reason. Yeah. And then after he's destroyed, it's like, Topman's like, nah, I'm not going to attack anybody anymore. We're going back to the west and we're going to stop attacking people. Thank God for that, because the Pantheras never appeared again in the series. Never. I don't think they even mentioned it at all. I mean, this arc is pretty bad. Like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. I'll get to my thoughts. I'll get more to this later. Now, what about episode 78? 78, we get someone from Sango's past. Yep, a feudal lord. Oh, and by the way, this guy is voiced by the guy who voiced Tatue Kuno from Ranma Half. I was really expecting this guy because is like, this guy apparently decided to basically use the same style of voice they use for Tatue Kuno. Yeah, it's something he doesn't say like, we just feel like Tatue Kuno, age 17, Blue Thunder of Florican High. Like, I was expecting that because I heard this guy's voice frequently throughout the entirety of Ranma Half, and here he's voicing a one-shot feudal lord who's got a thing for Sango. By the way, like, if you're watching my Ranma Half reviews, I mentioned that Sango is basically based upon Uko from Ranma Half. Appearance-wise, heck, they basically bang people with a giant weapon. Like, Uko used a spatula, and Sango used a giant boomerang. Which, by the way, she does use in this episode. Yeah, this image online, basically her sort of just tapping heavily on Moroku's head with the boomerang. Yep. And here's kind of the thing about this, okay? They're hired by the feudal lord to kill this bear demon. And yeah, they kind of beat it, and of course it's defeated by Moroku. Oh yeah, and also the feudal lord has got a thing for Sango. And Moroku's jealous. Yep, he is jealous. Because at this point, it's heavily hinted that these two have things for each other, but they're too stubborn to admit it. Don't worry, they will reveal it soon, later on in the series. Yep, and like, after they defeat the parademon, it's like, oh, they realize, oh, this is a vengeance demon. And it turns out this was the same demon that Sango fought 6 years prior when she first met the feudal lord. Of course, at that time, he wasn't the feudal lord. Yes, and they decided to, instead of burying it, the Curse Field like, maybe I should make some money off it. Yeah, that was basically, like, proved to be a bad idea, because, of course, they never made money off it. Yeah, and then they finally exercised it, and by the way, does this feudal lord ever appear again after this standalone episode? Nope. It's his only appearance. Then they go off. Then we have next episode focused on Jaken. What's his plot for this episode? Steal the 10 Saga for Sesshomaru. Despite the fact Sesshomaru gave no orders for this dude at all. And of course, Rin is with him for this entire episode. He tries, well, first he hires a demon to steal it. He steals various objects, including shards of Shukan Jewel, which, here's kind of a strange thing. They don't really say anything about him getting those shards back. It's like they were taken. It's like, okay, this demon is so stupid he can't find a freaking sword when he's in a fog. It's on Inuyasha, okay? And then eventually, like, then he poses as a sharpener who is able to sharpen Moroku's staff, but not Inuyasha's sword. And eventually they come across a hot spring. And Moroku wants to take a bath with Sango, but nope, he gets bopped. And you have Sango, Shippo, and Kagome take a bath, hop in the hot spring first. And after they're done, then it's Moroku and Inuyasha. And of course, Jaken tries to pick up the Tensaga by its sheath. Now, this is a bit inconsistent of how... I don't know... Now, I know the sword can't be picked up by a demon, fine. But when it's in a sheath, I would have thought that even a demon would pick it up, but no. So, Jack comes with an interesting idea. Use Inuyasha's shirt to pick it up. I'm like, okay, where's the white part of the shirt? Is it part of the outfit? I have no idea. He takes the Ren, who apparently they actually find. Inuyasha does get find out about this. He does chase after Jaken, who does get back his sword, but then Kagome notices Ren with him. Now, she doesn't know this is Ren. Of course, she does meet up a couple episodes later. And then the episode ends quite shockingly. Kagura shows up for the first time in 5 episodes and takes Ren, setting up the events of the next 2 episodes. Oh yeah, where's Ren? Ren is held in the house with Kohaku. Why this specific house? Well, they can't bring in the Raku's castle because it's full of poisoned gas. Yeah, and apparently only demons can survive this stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, and basically Naraku's one of his two plans is this. Basically, he kidnapped Ren so he can absorb Sashima because he really wants his demonic power for some reason. Yeah, we're back to canon stuff, by the way. Yep. And throughout this entire two-parter, you have Shishimaru battling Naraku, slicing it bit by bit. Apparently, this is what Naraku wanted. Yep, and then all of a sudden, Inuyasha somehow finds Shishimaru and breaks through Naraku's barrier. Naraku is shocked by this. As for in the case of Shishimaru, he's not shocked by this because if you watch the David three-parter, yeah, he's already seen this stuff, so yeah, breaks the damn barrier. Heck, he even broke through his purse barrier. And they fight for a while, and then of course he gets blasted, and then he flies away, and he disappears. By the way, he stays gone after this two-part for a long time. Like, he doesn't show up again until like almost halfway into season 5. Yeah, he is gone for that freaking long of a time. Yep. Shishimaru does briefly fight Inuyasha, and of course he runs off to go save Ren from Kohaku, and then Inuyasha, of course, he prevents Shishimaru from killing Kohaku, and Inuyasha and Kagome does briefly hold Ren, and then when Ren wakes up, sees Shishimaru, walks out with him, and don't worry, they'll meet up with each other again. Now, I love the fact in this two-part Kohaku meets Ren for the first time, because these two have never interacted together before at all. And here's kind of interesting about these two. They're both around the same age. I know Kohaku's supposed to be 11. I think Ren is supposed to be about, 10. She's about a year younger than Kohaku. I wouldn't be surprised, though, when they did like a much later time skip in the series, that these two become a couple. I wouldn't be shocked by it. I mean, make a couple anyways. Yep. The final episode of the season is a comedy episode. I love this one. Basically, Kagome has to catch up with her studies. And Inuyasha gets impatient. After waiting in Japan for a while, he decides, I'm going to go get Kagome back. And Kagome, when she comes across Inuyasha, he's playing with her cat, which I think is so hilarious. Yep. And then basically then the very next day, like, he spends the night, he spends like 2 days there, and she goes out to school, and then he's like, tells her to stay here, and then Gome's mom decides to give him her bento lunch because she forgot it. So, he goes off to try to find her, puts on a baseball cap to hide his ears, because why not? And then he starts acting really weird, because it's Inuyasha, not the first time I've done this series, where he's on the ground sniffing out her scent. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, bank robber comes out of the corner. Yep, a freaking bank robber. Stops him pretty easily. And, like, then he runs off, sees a fire, breaks in, saves a little girl, his hat falls off, and his hat falls off, and little girl, now he probably thought the little girl would be shocked to see see his ears, whereas, and then Susie gets around, then she starts playing with them. He's like, oh, I have time for this, I gotta go. Yep, and leaves his ball cap behind, and he runs to school, and I thought this was so funny, and then he just sits inside the building, Kagome sees like, what? What is he doing there? I'm surprised that nobody else looked outside the mirror window, and then she tells him he falls out the building, which I thought was so funny. And then, of course, they meet up later on the roof because, of course, it's a Japanese anime. Have all the characters go to the freaking high school roof. And gives him lunch. Of course, he kind of ate it. And then eventually, like, then more hijinks come, basically have to study for this particular test. Like, then he basically just, like, pops out for a while, then basically Shoto takes him off to get a bath, and of course he has to go back to Kagome's room for some reason. Don't know why. And eventually he does sit down, quiet down, sits on Kagome's bed. This is actually the first time he's ever been on top of her bed. Yeah. Yeah, he's in there for a while, and then he falls asleep on the bed. Because normally when he sleeps cross-legged and leaning his back against the wall. Yeah, that's how he commonly sleeps in the series. Which I'm like, yeah, why did he do that for? Now, he's one of two characters I've seen that sleep like this. The only other character I've ever seen that sleeps like this has been Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin. Yeah, he's the only character I've seen do this. And the thing is, both he and Inuyasha are basically look around parents-wise around the same age. This way Kenshin's a little bit older than he is, basically Kenshin's supposed to be in his 20s, while Inuyasha's supposed to be about 200. Yep, and then it's revealed that, oh yeah, they actually shared a bed together. No, they did not have sex. They just simply just slept in the same bed. Though apparently because Inuyasha is so big, he apparently took up most of the bed, which that was so hilarious. And he's basically sleeping with a sword on him. I'm like, how does not bark Kagome when she's sleeping? And they get back, and of course, he takes test. It's of course, she doesn't say she passed or not, but this is an absolute fun episode. This was so hilarious. I had to laugh at how funny this episode was. Yep. So after like the dark and dreary stuff we have for several episodes, let's have a comedy end the season. Let's end on a good note, which is fantastic. Okay. So yeah, as in the case of these episodes overall, the Panther David arc is not very good. It's pretty bad. The biggest weakness of the three-parter is the writing. The writing is so consistent and so bad. I mean, there's some good stuff here and there, but yeah. The song episode was interesting. Good exploration of her past. Development for her relationship with Moroku. 79. Good episode because it leads to a pretty good two-parter. And the standalone episode, the final episode of the season, is really good. So yeah, basically like, of these 8 episodes, a 3-parter, 2 straight standalone episodes, a 2-parter, and a standalone. That's what you get for these 8 episodes. Yep, but yeah, not much else to say about these 8 episodes. Really good. So yeah, that's it for this particular review, and that's it for reviews today. I may have an interview tonight, but I don't know if I got time to do it. I'm going to have several videos come up tomorrow, like My Hero Academia, hopefully One Punch Man, and several others, okay? See you next few. Bye.